So today we will understand how to calculate first and follow. In order to calculate first and follow, first we need to understand what do we mean by terminal and non-terminal symbols. So a terminal symbol is, for example, look at this production. In this production, small a and small b are called as terminal symbols because they do not have any end. Whereas if you look at capital S, this is called as a non-terminal symbol because capital S can be derived from this S. So we can use this S to derive this S, and therefore it does not have an end, and anything that does not have an end is called as non-terminal. So examples can be terminal symbols are small a, small b, minus, plus, comma, open bracket, close bracket, alpha, beta. All of these are terminal symbols. Non-terminal symbols are all the other letters, all the other capital letters like capital A, capital B, D, etc. Now this is how you understand terminal and non-terminal symbols. Now if you want to calculate first and follow, let us start with first. How to calculate first? So to calculate first, there are various different rules. Let us consider a grammar. S produces A, B, C. Now in this case, small a, as we discussed, is a terminal symbol. If there is a terminal symbol after this arrow, it means that it will be included in the first of S. Therefore, first of S is equal to, you have to write all the firsts in the curly brackets, and it is A, and that's all. Now let's take a different example for first. Suppose S derives capital A, small a. Now in this case, you will be given another grammar where it shows A derives something like small b. Now in this case, first of S will not be capital A. The first of S will be first of A. Now first of S is equal to first of A. Now what is first of A? First of A in curly brackets is B. So therefore, since A comes before the terminal symbol and A is a non-terminal symbol, in case of a non-terminal symbol, we have to find its first. So first of A is small b, and therefore first of S is also small b. Let's take a different example. Suppose S belongs to A, B, or C. Now in this case, A does not give something like small b. Instead, A will give you epsilon and B will give you small b. Now how do you find first of S in this case? So if we try to find first of S, according to our previous example, first of S, if there is a non-terminal symbol in front of S, then you will have to find first of A. So first of S will be first of A. So first of S is equal to first of A. Now what is first of A? First of A is epsilon. So let us first figure out what is first of A. First of A is epsilon. So does it mean that you have to write epsilon as first of S? Does it mean you have to write epsilon here? No, you don't have to write this epsilon. Because if the first of the first non-terminal symbol is deriving an epsilon, then you have to cancel it and you have to go to the next letter. So now you will go to B. Now what is first of B? First of B is small b. Now if the first of capital B is small b, and you know that first of S is A, but A is deriving an epsilon, so you cancelled A and then you moved on to B, because epsilon means the end and you don't want to end the parser, so you will go to the next one. Next one is capital B, so therefore first of A is not equal to first of S is not equal to first of A. First of S in this case is equal to first of B, which is equal to this small b. That is how you have to solve it. You have to check if the first of the given non-terminal symbol is an epsilon or not. If it is an epsilon, then you have to move to the next symbol. Okay. Now let's suppose S gives you A, B, C, but in this case A gives you epsilon and B also gives you epsilon. How do you solve this one? Now in this case, first of S is as usual first of A is equal to first of A. Now first of A, let us figure out first of A. First of A is equal to epsilon. Since this is an epsilon, we will cancel A and we will move on to the next one, which is B. So we will cancel first of A and we will go to the B. Now what is first of B? In this case, first of B is an epsilon. In this case, you will again cancel first of B, because first of B is also epsilon and you don't want an epsilon. In this case, you will go to the next one, which is C, and therefore first of S is not first of A, not first of B, but first of S is C, the last option, because this was an epsilon, this was an epsilon, and you can just include non-terminal symbol, the terminal symbols as it is. So you just include C as it is, and that is the first of S. Now in next case, suppose S derives capital A and epsilon, or let's take S derives capital AB. Now in this case, A derives an epsilon, B derives an epsilon. How do you solve this? Now there is no C. In this case, first you have to find out first of A and first of B. So first of A is equal to epsilon. First of B is also equal to epsilon. Now what to do? This is an epsilon, you move to the next one. This is also an epsilon, what to do now? In this case, you don't have any option. So therefore you have to include an epsilon in first of S, because there is no option. When there is no option, then you have to include epsilon. In other case, you just have to move to the next part. That is how you solve it. Now let's take another example. S gives you A, small b, and epsilon. How do you solve this? Now when there is an OR symbol, you can divide this grammar into S gives you AB and S gives you epsilon. Now you have to find first of S. Now first of S is first of A. Now what is first of A? In the question they will give you something like first of A is small a. So first we will write first of A in curly bracket small a. Now first of S in this case is first of small a. Now if first of S is first of capital A, therefore first of S is equal to small a, which is this. So first of S is solved, but we only solved this one, we haven't solved this one. So let's solve this one. In this case we have no option, so we have to include an epsilon because there is nothing else in the option. So in this case we will expand the curly bracket and include epsilon. So small a and epsilon both are a part of it. That is how we solve the first. Now let's learn how to solve the follow. Now suppose there is a grammar which says S derives small a, capital B and small c. Now in this case, how do you find follow of S? So the answer is you don't have to find the follow of S, because follow is only available for the right hand side. Follow is not available for the left hand side. So you only have to look at the right hand side to create a follow. In case of first, we used to create first of S because first is on the left hand side. But in case of follow, you only have to look at the right hand side. So in the right hand side, you can see B. So you have to find the follow of B. Now how do you find the follow of B? You just have to look at the next symbol after B. So what is follow of B? Follow of B is anything that is in front of B. In front of B, there is a terminal symbol which is small c. And if there is a terminal symbol, you will just include it as it is. So you just have to look the next symbol after B. That is how you follow. That is how you find the follow. Now there is no other non-terminal symbol. And since there is no other non-terminal symbol, what you have to do is you have to create a follow of S. Now in case you create the follow of S, you don't have to check this number because follow of S is always dollar. How do I know that follow of S is dollar? Because S is a start symbol. Anything that is on the left hand side which is starting this production, this is not a start symbol, this is not a start symbol, this is not a start symbol. Anything that starts the production before this arrow is called as start symbol, and start symbol will always have a dollar. So that is why follow of S is equal to dollar. Now let's consider a grammar. S derives AB, A derives small a, capital A or epsilon, and B derives small b, capital B or epsilon. Now in this case, let us start by calculating the follow of A. So follow of A. What is follow of A? You don't have to look at the left side, you only have to look at the right side. So just look at the right side. So in this case, you can see that after A there is no terminal symbol, because in this case after B there was a terminal symbol. So you could directly write the terminal symbol in the follow. But in this case, when you look at the right hand side, there is no terminal symbol after A. After A, there is a capital B, which is a non-terminal symbol. So in this case, follow of A will be equal to first of B, because this is a non-terminal symbol. And if there is a non-terminal symbol after a non-terminal symbol and you have to calculate the follow, then you have to write the first of B in its follow. So what is first of B? This is B, and first of B is equal to curly brackets small b and an epsilon. Small b and epsilon is what is included in first of B. Therefore, in follow of A, which is also equal to first of B, you will write the same thing, which is you will write in open curly bracket small v epsilon close curly bracket. So when there is a non-terminal symbol, just include the first of next non-terminal symbol. Now there is a rule when it comes to follow. In follow, you cannot use an epsilon, but there is an epsilon right here. So what do you do? In this case, what you have to do is you just have to copy this small b as it is, but you cannot copy the epsilon as it is. So what you have to do is you have to remove this epsilon, and to replace this epsilon you have to go to the next symbol. So you have to go from this to this, back to this, because there is nothing after the b. This is the complete production. So you cannot go after b, so you have to go back to s to replace this epsilon. Now you go back to s, and what is follow of s? You have to write the follow of s here. You don't have to write the first, because when you go back to the start, you don't have to write the first, you have to write the follow of it. So what is follow of s? We know that the follow of a start symbol is always a dollar. So in this case, there will be a dollar which is follow of s. So here you have to write the follow of s. Because there was an epsilon, you have to replace the epsilon, and there is no symbol after b, so you go back to the s and you will find the follow of s, which is dollar. And why is follow of s a dollar? Because the follow of the start symbol is always a dollar. So that is how you find the follow of a, which is b, dollar. Now in this case, we have also found out the first of b, but we haven't found out the follow of b. So let's try to find follow of b. Follow of b. Now if you try to find out the follow of b, you can see that also you can see that there is a on the right hand side, and on this a there is no symbol after a. This is OR, so you cannot use this. After a there is nothing, so you have to go back to this a, and follow of this a will be equal to follow of this a, and follow of a start symbol is always a dollar. So dollar is already there, so you don't need to check this a to find the follow of a. Now let us look at b. To find the follow of b, you can see that there are two b's. You always have to look at the right hand side. So this is the right hand side, this is the right hand side. So you always have to look at the right hand side, not on the left hand side. So when you look at the right hand side, after b there is no symbol. So what you have to do is you have to go back to the first b and include dollar, because dollar is the follow of the first start symbol. So you go back to this, because there is nothing after capital B, and even after this capital B there is nothing. There is nothing. This is a different production and this is a different production. So there is nothing after capital B, so you go back to S. And what is the follow of S? The follow of S is also dollar, and you don't need to include dollar 2 times. Dollar is only present once, and that's okay. So that is how you find the follow of B. Now what is follow of S? The follow of S, there is only one S, which is a start symbol, and start symbol will always have the follow dollar. So dollar is the only answer for this. So that is how you find out first and follow. These are all the scenarios. You will need to understand first and follow to be able to understand parsing tables. So thanks for watching.